So we were the producers of the film, directed by Yen Tan. It's a short film about a congressman who makes a decision about an outfit to wear that causes speculation about his sexuality, and then the kind of repercussions of that afterwards. And then the outfit starts haunting him. So
it's kind of like a mesh of comedy, some horror elements, and thriller, and political thriller kind of stuff in there too.
It's a fun one.
Yeah, it's just a fun piece.
Seems like Yen's material is usually so serious and so emotionally driven. Talk to us about getting to do this, because personally, he's not that way. He's kind of goofy and...
Oh yeah, Yen is the filthiest, funniest person I've ever met in my whole life. That's why we get along so well. But so it was really interesting because I worked with him previously on his feature Pit Stop, and it's a very serious piece. It's probably one of the most beautiful scripts I've ever read. And then he just started talking about doing something light between his next feature, and he was just like, which is kind of a dramedy that he wants to do. And so we were like trying to push him to do something a little bit more funny or, fun and not quite so serious, to see, because he's just a really funny guy, to see if he could pull it off. So
yeah, this was a chance for Yen to kind of stretch his wings a little bit and just kind of see what else he could do. So it was definitely purposeful and intent, and it was on purpose.
Yeah.
He meant to do something completely different than what he's known for. So
yeah, everybody that we've shown it to that knows his work is like shocked.
Yeah,
that it's something way different. But it's still very Yen, though. It's the thing. It's like Yen's version of that. So it's it still has his signature all over it. Yeah.
What was it about the story that drew you?
Well, it's honestly, it's just about like people learning to accept who they are and what their choices, whether it be clothing, who they are, what they do. And so it's just kind of like this one guy's struggle to like deal with like kind of, his mom that kind of puts a lot of pressure on him, and his girlfriend who is a little bit more open about things. He's kind of conservative. So it's just kind of interesting to see like the pressures that people like go through to be themselves and accept themselves, whatever that is. So
we like that it's a very light piece to deal with some heavier issues. It's very lighthearted, it's easy to watch, but if you really dig deep into it, it's dealing with some pretty tough, heavy issues. So it was a fun piece to be a part of.
Are you guys trying to make a political statement with it, or just...
It's up to your interpretation.
Yeah, thanks. I think that it's political statement, not so much, but we're all extremely like open people about anything, so it's hard to have, I think even Yen would say this, like to have any kind of barriers. So this kind of stuff just seems normal to us, but I don't know, to the going public, maybe it is a political statement, but why should there be any political statement about people being who they are and what they want to be?
Talk about the film being inspired by true events.
That's a good question. It is inspired by an actual congressman who wore an outfit to a fundraising event, and then there was speculation about his sexuality. He wasn't out in public with a girl
female.
ever, with a female, and so there was speculation about that. This congressman has been in the news quite a bit recently.
Or we should say ex-congressman.
Ex-congressman now. Can we say who it is that we said? It's Aaron Schock. It was inspired by. But really the inspiration was just the outfit, him wearing the outfit.
And the situation. It's the movie just takes
so
that and then goes
based
something else
on that
in a completely different way.
one thing that
Yeah.
that news article inspired Yen to write the short, and so it's so we can say inspired by it, but it's very loosely based. It's not based on him as a character or anything.
Yeah, it's not based in fact. It just takes that one element, and Yen was like, I wonder what that would be like as a comedy, because that seems really funny to me, and so he did. That's what we did.
Where did y'all shoot this?
Dallas.
Here in Dallas, Dallas-based crew.
Yeah,
Hayden was part of it. Hayden was a great part of our crew.
Yeah. Yen lives in Austin, but he asked Kelly and I if we would be interested in producing and helping put it together, and it was just easier with our resources here to shoot it here, but we could have just as easily shot in Austin.
It seems like we're increasingly gossip heavy as a society, and we now also have the ability to share thoughts instantaneously and take them much more seriously than maybe they should be. Do you think this film could have happened 10 years ago, or is this very much a modern thing?
I don't think so.
I don't at all.
I mean, I guess if it was in a newspaper, maybe you could have something like that. But as far as like how quickly people can respond to it, like in finding feedback, because let's say 10, even 15 years ago, if people weren't as internet savvy and something that's came out in the newspaper, I don't think that the congressman would be able to get the feedback that he can now, because everybody can be blogging about it or posting it on Facebook and hearing all that kind of stuff. So I think that people would still have their their thoughts about it, but it wouldn't be as public because there wouldn't be a forum for it. So I think that the people that are being made fun of or that have this stuff talked about would not know to the extent of like how bad people are judging them.
Well, and even 10 years ago, would it be newsworthy that a congressman wears a colorful shirt to that wouldn't make it into the newspaper 10 years ago. So the fact that news and Twitter and everything is just so readily available and people just suck it up and turn it into something viral so quickly, that's what made it news. So absolutely, that's why this was a story and why this is a short film. So
is that upsetting then, or are you grateful for that because now you get to make a fun short film?
It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's like I think that, of course, I'm speaking for myself, but I love creating art, and of course art comes from anything from anger to irritation to love to whatever, and so it's great to say that, but at the same time, and I'm grateful that we had something to work with and to say. But could we get rid of all social evils and then not make movies? Would I be happy? Sure. I mean, I would sad that I don't make movies anymore because I love making films, but sure, I don't want all this crap in the world. I mean, it's great that we can talk about it and that we have a forum for it, but like, it's sad that we have to, especially something like this. Like, who the fuck cares what somebody wears? I mean, it's just ridiculous. So yes and no. I love making film, but yeah, it's kind of crappy that we have to have this. We have to talk about this. Why can't this just be everyday life? Because it is, So, but that's what all art is, right? It's just a form of pushing through our ideas into something for a public forum. So it's like, how is what we did any different than what people talking about? We're making fun of or bringing to light these issues, but that's just the other side of the coin of someone who's like, talking trash on the internet. We're just doing it. And so we're better people because of it? I don't know. Probably not.
So with this being sort of a different genre from what Yen has been known to do, are you going to wait and see how the success will be for this, to see if you're going to kind of continue down this path of doing something different, or is it going to kind of go back to what's been going on before that's worked in the past?
Yen has another feature in the works that definitely, like Hutch mentioned, it's a dramedy. It's definitely closer back to a typical Yen, but definitely more lighthearted. I think that this was really a stretch for Yen, and while we're so proud of it and happy with the results, I think that you'll see more of him going back to kind of his roots in the future. I wouldn't say completely, but this definitely has encouraged him to be a little bit more lighthearted and show more of his personality. For those people that know Yen, more of his fun personality and things. But you'll definitely see him kind of going back to what he's comfortable with and what we all know he's really good at.
Well, I mean, this is the thing too for because I push Yen a lot. Like after each project, it's always about, okay, what's next? What's your next goal? And this is kind of like his genre exercise, but there was something to it. It wasn't just an exercise. So I think that he had his fun with it, but I don't know. It's almost kind of like Yen doing a cover, but in his own way. So it's very much Yen, but it's not his style. So I think that he had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, I think that where Yin really resides is like human interaction and like how people relate or are alienated from one another, and that's something that I don't think will go away anytime soon.
Can you all talk about switching, going from like feature to short back? I mean, like when you get your crew together, you know you've got to do this short project instead of, you know, having a lot more time doing a little bit of longer film. Can you talk about switching back and forth? You really seem to be able to jump to any project and be fine with it. It seems like your departments are ready to go.
Well, I'm glad it looks that way.
It's always in flux.
Yeah,
it really is
it's
always
like-
in flux.
It's, I mean, 'cause especially for short films, you know, we're all still doing these for like, it doesn't make any sense really to invest a lot of money in short films because, I mean, they're kind of calling cards. Usually they're used as, and they're great for festivals, but so you can't put a lot of money into it, but still films, even like a short film takes a lot of like money, or people's time. So for short films, it's easier if it's just a weekend or something to get people together. And what I like about short films as opposed to features too is that you do get people that just love doing this, and so it's not just a job, and which sometimes happens on features, especially when it dragged out, because features can be brutal. I mean, like I have another film that I shot playing here called Some Beast, and that was a crazy shoot that lasted almost a year, and traveling 20 hours to a different state to shoot it. So I'm up for anything as long as it's good. I mean, I love what I do, and you have to have a passion for it, and that's what I think is great about working on short films is you tend to find the passion for people. It's almost like a job interview for features. It's like, oh, this person was badass, so let's bring them on for the feature. So there's a lot of different things. You just have to juggle a lot.
I would say, yeah, the key to moving back and forth is just finding people that you trust and respect, and that's really what's worked for us and allowed us to be successful, is just finding good people who love what they do and have good attitudes, and you have that mutual respect, which is really important.
Is it fun then to show it here in Dallas and after party always?
Oh yeah,
It is
for
fun.
sure. I mean,
It's a little reward for everybody that put in work for it. And it's fun to be able to premiere here and thank the people. There are a lot of people involved in making this film, and from providing a location to bringing us food. So it is nice to be able to premiere here and give a little shout out to everybody that helped make it happen.
And it takes me back to like when I was a kid, because I love watching movies. The few that were shot here in Dallas. Like I love like when I was a kid watching RoboCop, and you're like, I know that reunion tower, and it just it brings it that much closer. So I don't know. Hopefully, there'll be somebody in the audience that wants to be an aspiring filmmaker and will see, oh my God, I know that location. I live like 3 blocks from there, and that will because that's how I was when I was a kid. I was like, I went and traveled to these places where these films were shot, and it's like, and it brings that love of cinema back. And so I think that if we can do that for other people here, that'd be awesome, for sure.
One more question. Can we talk about the casting real quick?
Sure. Yin had AJ in mind when he was writing the script, and so it was really great. He had a previous, I guess AJ had auditioned for a previous role for AJ, so he had his contact information for his agent, and it was really an easy process. AJ is so fun to work with, and he just was perfect for this role. Ian had also had kind of previous connection with Anna Margaret, and so it was so easy to cast. I mean, those were his number ones, and we got them. So that was really a great, fun experience for us to get to work with him.
And I got to work with Anna Margaret again, because she was actually on the first feature I shot like 5 years ago. So it was the first time
Yeah.
working with her again, which was really cool.
So it's really fun. And then, the other roles, Krishna was great. The casting process for us was so easy. I mean, it was as if I really feel like all of our first options it worked.
Which is kind of a testament to, I think, to Yen too, because I think, people really respect Yen and his work. So it makes it a lot easier for the casting process because people want to work with him, which is good.
And he had very specific people in mind. We didn't have auditions or casting calls or anything. He had very specific people in mind when he was writing the script, and so once they accepted the role, it was easy.